Hello everyone. Well, I'm going to take it you can hear me because I just checked and it all seems good. So I'm probably not going to be me usual upbeat. No, I'm not upbeat. Just I'm knackered. So I spent a week in China, and I couldn't get direct flights this time, so I had to do 2-stage flights, one stops in Shanghai. And so instead of being a 14-hour flight and trip, it was like 21 hours or something like that. And then the times they left, etc. And so still kind of getting over it from Sunday. But you know, that doesn't really matter. It just means that I'm not quite as bouncy. Anyway, so why did I go to China? Well, the first thing was that God, I'd meet so many people, because the best thing about this is because of it's been very successful. There's a budget, so it means I can be boots on the ground. So I can go out there 2 or 3 times just to make sure everything's going okay. And it's always good when you, even though there's a language issue sometimes, it's better to have the human interaction. Just works much better. So, what did I go out and see? So I went to see Sarah from HLH about the chassis. I was hoping to sign it off, but there was a couple of issues that needed addressing, and a couple of them were sorted out while I was there. It was to do with the texturing. I don't want to go into great details because it will sound negative and it's not, but basically it didn't look quite right. But they were experimenting with the flow and it's technical stuff. Anyway, when we got to the end, they started to come out really nice. So they just have to dial in the settings and the temperatures for the materials and get the right material. But the last one I saw on the texture was looking great. So that's all good news. The other thing was we decided we're going to put an extra mounting hole for the bezels, so just a little bit of an extra support where we didn't think we'd need it, but we're just going to put one in there just to be on the safe side. So that's that. A couple of changes, minor little changes to the chassis. So basically the chassis, they're just going to do they couldn't get this done, you know, because there was a week or two's work. So I'll be getting some samples, hopefully final versions in about 2 weeks. So that's all good news. So that's the chassis, which obviously is really important because it's got to look good. And I just got some notes. Oh, yeah, I'm going to keep this fairly short. I will answer some questions, but I'm going to keep it fairly short because I need some sleep. Even though I know I came back yesterday, but I'm still getting over it. Because my clock's all over the place in here. Right, so I went to see the... well, let's do them last, actually. Right, so I went to see the people who made one of the visits. So I went to see a couple of companies that were supplying parts, like cables and fasteners, that kind of thing. Sorted them all out. Everything's sweet. Checked. La, la, la. That's all good news. Also went to see the people that made this board. Okay. This board here, which as you probably... It's gathered a bit of excitement. People who didn't want S videos suddenly want to get it. I'm going to come to that later. Don't panic. It's all good. I just don't want extra parts of your order now. All right. Anyway, so I went to see these people because the first version I got worked great on most of my computers, but funnily enough, when I stuck in the Commodore 64, didn't work. So it didn't work. Don't panic. I know what people are like. So part of the reason was I took the Commodore 64 out there, and I gave it to them, and we got the response yesterday that they fixed it. And it's all working great. I've seen the videos, and they're sending me 2 new boards, and they've had to modify the software and change the design a bit. So that's all good news. Now, of course, this is kind of a really important part of it, because not just because the RF, but originally the plan was to have one of these, and maybe there's another one which has RF. Now, I've never put the RF stuff up for sale. I was going to leave that till later. The S video is obviously quite important. But this takes another pod bay. So if you've got Appy's scaler and then you put this in, you basically filled the back. Yeah, you know what I mean? It was like it was never going to be good. So that's why I contacted the people who make that and the RF board. Could they put it on here, or put it so we could mount it on Appy's scaler board, as you can see. Let's see if I can get it out of our way, shall we? Yep. So there you go. RF. This video I'm doing it backwards, which was pretty good. So I'm really pleased with that. The scaler, this is the previous version. I'm going to go pick up a new version on Thursday. So hopefully the one I pick up on Thursday is a release candidate. Assuming there's no issues with it, I'm going to hopefully sign that off, but we'll have to see because this needs an awful lot of testing. Okay, but anyway, so I'm pleased about that. And once I get it, I think we've resolved the issues, so that's good news. Obviously, again, Appy's scaler is really good, and so that's really is kind of what you're doing now. Funnily enough, so basically, let me explain what's going to happen. If you ordered one of these, and you ordered one of Appy's scalers, you'll get this instead. You won't have to change nothing, right? You'll get this instead, and you'll also get the RF included as well. Okay, I'm not going to say for free. We're just going to include it. Okay, so it's all part of the package. So you thought you was going to get S video, you're going to get RF as well now, which is, I think, pretty cool. So that's if you've ordered Appy's scaler and you ordered this. Okay. Now, what if you ordered this and not Appy's scaler? So, at the moment, obviously, you're going to get this because obviously you didn't think you needed the rest of this. I have already got people saying, oh, they might want to add to this. So look, the bottom line with this is, and I'm going to repeat this at the end. A lot of people have been getting in touch saying, can I add this to my old horses? Because until we get right to the end, I'll have everything sorted out. Everything's going to be straight in my head, what we're offering, etc. And then I'm going to make it some documentation to make it easy for you to understand. So if you got this, you can buy it. I'm going to make it clear then. Don't ask to add it. If you add it, I'll just delete it. Okay? Because at the moment, your people who've already ordered and paid, and I'm really grateful you did. They've got their bit sorted out, and we will allow you to add bits later. Before you'll be perfectly right, you're placed in the queue. We'll plenty of time to do it, and also hopefully, fingers crossed, at that point credit cards will be back online, so you just pay by credit card. Okay, so that will be good. Let's get back on to the slot 0 now. So obviously, you probably will. I'm going to a little bit of history. So when I originally started this project, what you backed was this. Yeah. So here is the main controller card. That's for the controller, and that would then come out and go into the panel. And you can see there's a lot of cables. Okay, it was going to be it's going to be neater than this, but that was basically the gist of it. And the HDMI out was that little board there, plugged in. You know, the switcher was going to be a separate board, etc. So that was basically the gist of it. And then you'd have connectors above. Now, of course, when Appy came on the scene, it changed, because what we then could have was the back plane. Yeah. Fundamental, because all the signals are carried up and down this thing. Everybody has heeded my begging. Please buy it. And so everyone is, I think there may be a couple of people who haven't, but you know, everyone's basically added this to the order, because everything relies on it. Now, this is not something out of the blue, okay? This is not out of the blue. So if I keep looking down here, this was not out of the blue, right? Because I said it right in the Kickstarter. Okay, because you often get people, oh, well, what's all this about? No, because it was written in there at the beginning. So that was always there. Anyway, so we originally had this, and then all this is about a few generations later, because because we had about 3 different versions before we got to this. So this was the first board that was taken Appy's design, where we had that little controller, not this one, but the little video controller plugged underneath and connected to Appy's board. They put the electronics on Appy's board, right, as you can see, and we've got this little Mez board at the top with the composites, but for people who wanted the HDMI switcher, you have this little board here, and then there's a cable going into it. It works, you know, but it's you know, there's a cable going to the HDMI on the board, and you know, it wasn't ideal. So I asked the company that do the controllers if they could do something better, and I picked up one of the things I did pick up when I was there, which I can't find. Here it is this board. Okay, now I'm just going to switch to this just for a second so you can have a look at this. So basically what you've got here, actually, yeah, you can see the board, right? So basically what you've got, what you've got here, it's the same underneath board, although it's the same generation as the last one, actually, funny enough. There were a couple of tweaks, but no, what am I saying? That's rubbish. This is the release candidate. So this is pretty much the, fingers crossed, the final version. Okay, which I picked up when I was in China. So if you've ordered the HDMI switcher upgrade, you'll get this board plugged into the top, and then as you can see, there's the 3 HDMI's ins, and there's 2 ins internally. And if you can see just under there, it actually connects with a connector, which is so much neater. No cable. And so that is, to be honest, pretty awesome. Okay, now if you didn't order an HDMI switcher, it's not a problem. You'll still get you'll get this little board. Sorry, it's not screwed on. It's just a bit of a floater. So you'll just get the standard board with the composites, the 2 AV inputs, and that's all good. Now, again, if you wanted to, you're suddenly sitting there going, oh Christ, really? That's only £19? Yes. Right? If it's only £19, can I add it on later? Yes. So what we'll do is if you want to later on, we just can't include it because the price, as you can see, all this stuff, this is not come cheap. Okay, there's been a lot of work, a lot of development, and it's not been cheap. So if you do want it, it's only £19. Go on the website, and I won't change the price. Go, not now. when I tell you, you can go on the website and then you can change, add the orders and so on. But I'll give you more information then, and then we'll be clearer with the message. Again, I'm looking down here, I'm sorry. But we'll be clearer with the message. But so we don't want them now. Not interested. Okay, if you've already paid by bank transfer. If, however, you've not paid yet, then it's fine. Add what you like. Then that's all cool. But so the HDMI switcher, I don't think it's absolutely necessary, because if you've got this, right, and you, for example, put Apple's scaler in, so the first slot, you've only got one slot at the top that you want to put a computer in, maybe, and then maybe if it's HDMI output, you've still got an HDMI input on the board, so it's not necessary. And of course you'll have your you'll have your HDMI 1 input there and your HDMI output. So, and again, I will try and we're going to try and document this to make it clearer, because me waffling, I know I get a lot of comments from people, there's so much. Well, it's two schools of thought. There's the people who said, we need lots of updates, which I do lots of updates, and then you get people, it's so confusing, I don't want to watch it, and I'm like, so we did an update video where we went for everything, and then we backed it up with documentation which Phil wrote. But of course a lot has changed since then, so I will do another one of those introduction kind of videos, and then the document version of it, to bring you up to speed with all the changes, and we'll do that in one page, and then we'll just point everyone to that. But for now, I have to wait, because we just got to get these bits sorted out and nailed. But I think that the key thing you got to take away from this is light years ahead of what we promised. It's a lot better than what we promised, and we're busting the gut to get this as good as it can be, because I always work on a basis would I want it, and yes, I want that. Now, no, not so much. Although, to be fair, it's still cool, but the new board's much better. So it's all coming on really well, and again, wait until later. I'll tell you when. It'll be a month or two. Now people are going to ask, when's it going to be ready? Well, as you know, we delayed. I'll give you lots of reasons. But yes, we are delayed. I'm not going to apologise for trying to make it perfect. But we are really close. So as I said, these are release candidates. And that basically means if there's no problems with it and all the testing goes fine, then we'll be ready to start production. Probably a small batch to start with, just to iron out any issues, and then just do the rest. So I think we're on the road to making something pretty special. I went to see the panel. I've settled on a single company now, especially for this 2000, to supply the panels. So I'm pleased about that. As I said, I've got all the cable people all sorted out, all the fasteners. This whole lot of stuff going into this monitor. Seen the packaging, that's great. They got the internals the box a little bit too tall. For the foam, as you know, there's probably a moulded, it all drops in and then it goes in a nice box, and then that box goes in another box. Okay, so yeah, that's all good. But right, so there's not much more to say. I bought myself a couple of toys. Bought Alfie a little remote, a smart dog. £16, I think it was. Absolutely fantastic. I should have brought it up actually. Absolutely brilliant. He barks and dances and does all kinds of stuff. Where can you get that for 16 quid? And I've been thinking about getting one of these for a long time. I bought myself a drone for when I'm on my bike. and it's not, it doesn't do everything, but it's got lots of cameras, and it's got like object avoidance, although it just seems to crash into everything, so I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. I think I'm pretty rubbish at flying, but the idea was to see if I could film myself with a drone. Now it's really, and now this was about 30 quid, £30. It's amazing. But yeah, so I'm quite pleased with that. I'm really pleased with that. And you can control it with your mobile phone, an app on there, and yeah, it's just brilliant. So I had a really good time, but it was just hard work. Right, so I'm going to go through and look see if there's any questions and say hello to people, etc. And then I'm going to go. Right. Hello, Happy. Hello, Anders. Hello, Jeremy. Hello, Valentine. Looking forward to the update. Happy, not this music again. Oh, interestingly, I got a copyright strike for the music from the advert, which I paid for. I paid for it. So they're trying to give me a copyright strike. So I'm like, really? So I've had to put in the thing to say, actually, I think you're fine. I paid for it. And then email me and I'll send you the proof. Right. So I'm a bit annoyed about that, but that's such is life. So anyway, that's that. No, sexy monitor music time. I keep searching for Amiga monitors that are better fit for AJ resolution support. Then I remember I have 2 of these coming eventually. Yes, hope so. Well, they are pretty good actually, to be fair. I think they're about the best in an advert over. Is it ASB? I don't know what you mean by ASB, but if you mean ABS, yeah. Don't ask me the exact chemical makeup, right? But they're injection molded, and because we had to change actually, funny enough. I'll get the exact details if you're really interested. But all you need to know is they're really nice. In fact, it's the same material and colours, obviously, as my original cases. Happy's board looks so good. It's a shame it's all going to be hidden inside the case. Yeah, I know. So transparent. I did consider making some transparent ones, but it would delay everything. I did think it might be quite good fun. So we're not, okay, but I did actually consider it. But it would definitely delay things. Because I thought, it'd be quite fun to play it and look a bit like an iMac. Well, the iMac was actually looked really good, but it'd probably be quite funny to see it. Transparency also happy for just getting enhanced. Hi, all. Sorry, I'm late. Welcome back from China, Steve. Thank you. Copyright strike would be a good brand name. Yeah. Have you determined warranty periods for everything? 12 months. Simple. Have you seen that they are releasing a 500 Maxi? Can I request a kit to fit a checkmate case? Probably require widescreen, so putting it in the display. Right. If they're stupid enough to make it widescreen only, and I don't care who sees this, right? Because it's stupid. Because Linux quite happily will support normal aspect ratio. Why? You need to at least offer it with the correct aspect, even if you just do 4:3. Although to be fair, 5:4's closer because of the number that was sold, right? So if they can't be bothered to do that, it's stupid. Anyway, so you probably better take it out. Put it in. I mean, if they do it, but I personally, I wouldn't want to take it apart. Look, I think everybody knows we're going to do a plug-in Amiga card. If anyone knows my history, I did the PCI Amiga card. Well, we was going to do it, but it never happened. And I'm doing something similar again. So I'm basically putting an Amiga in it. Or, well, we all know who's doing this, don't we? Okay. So we've got to wait and see, how, I'm not going to talk about it, and nor are you happy, But we are working on a board that plugs in, and it's obviously FPGA based, etc. Now, I'm not going to say any more about it because until we do it, because there's all kinds of issues. We're getting hold of the bloody FPGAs and the components and so on. So we've got to see what we can do with that. So that'll be later, right? We may well be testing them soon, but we'll go later with that. So yeah, theoretically, in theory, you could put one of those in. You might be able to recase the bot, but don't expect me to do it. I've got my own plans, which don't mean getting an ARM process. I mean, if you want to do it properly, yeah, just stick one of these in it. Yeah, if that's what you think of doing, don't waste money buying that, stripping it apart and shoving it in. Just buy one of these. You'd be much better off, and it'd be a lot quicker because they're probably going to use a cheap ass chip. I don't know. I don't think it's 24 months. I think you'll find it's legally it's 12 months. But anyway, Codename Storm. I mean, like, I intend to stand by the damn things anyway. So the legal requirement. Oh, hang on, don't worry, I'm not gone. It's not a conspiracy. Just my camera being it's 30 minutes. Right, there's no questions. So codename Amistorm. PyStorm. So it will have the plan is to have a PyStorm. Well, you probably all know we was going to do one like based on the Mini-Me. And there's actually a couple of other companies that are thinking of doing boards to plug in, which is good. I'm not going to name them, but that'll be good if they do it. But I just like the idea of an Amiga in there with a PyStorm that absolutely stonks along in all-in-one computer. So that's on the roadmap. It shouldn't probably take too long. I think might have issues with chips, but we'll see about that. Anyway, right. Are things all on track? Oh, we're late. Now, if I delivered this, you'd have had it months ago. Yeah. But I think you could all agree. If we'll do a little poll, right? Which would you prefer? This or this? Yeah. So you'd have had that months ago, and this is just taking time. But having said that, we're probably going to be maybe about 6 months late. But trust me, it's going to be worth it. And we have to get these right, because going forward, I can't ship something bad to you lot and then have to do it later. So yeah, I mean, it is late. But there are benefits in it. So as you've already seen, but we'll come to that later. Anyway. Are you considering other colours down the line? No, not really. Not really, no. I mean, the trouble is it's very expensive to make multiple colours, because you have to set a production run up. You have to set everything up. It takes a lot of time to set up the tools. Then you've got to spit out like a 500 or 1,000 to make it worthwhile. So probably not. I'm in Portugal. I need to pay the $250. What's the best way of doing it? Bank transfer, please, by wise.com. We're not quite at half the people paid. Now, it's fine, because, as I said before, we've got the money to make 1,000 units, right? Which more than covers the people that paid, and there'll still be some left over. So once we start, they'll all get theirs early. Right? So the rest of the people who haven't paid, they'll roll on later on. So we're gonna make a batch of 1,000, get them made, shipped out the door, And then another batch is going to be made and arrive probably 6 weeks later. Ship them out the door, and then hopefully, in theory, continue making 1,000 a month. That's hopefully what's going to happen, or every couple of months, or whatever the demand is. So yeah. Can I make? Yeah. Well, you can make a normal bank transfer, but unless if you're in the UK bank, it's fine. Any other bank, you're going to get stiffed for charges. Wise.com's, everyone's using Wise.com, and it's the most popular one. Yes, they do ask you some details to prove who you are. It's called money laundering. But if you do that, then it's a lot easier and it's a lot cheaper. Okay. And we've had lots of money come through from that, so it's all worked out really well. Are you going to be making? Oh, okay. Hang on. So, will you own the molds or manufacture? I don't own the manufacturer, but I own the molds. The tools is what molds or whatever. I own that, so they're mine. So, but the same company's gonna make and assemble. Are you going to keep making the 17s or just the 19s? Well, 20% of people said I want 17-inch, so I splashed out $14,000 on a tool to make the bloody things, and now, as I've gone through the list, it's about 30 people that want 17. Everyone's changed their mind. They've all gone, my eyesight's not very good, I get the 19. So I might not make anymore because it's a pain in the butt. Now, it might be that, I'm going to make a whole, probably 250, 50 colours, and that'll be it. I might not make any more. I will see, but it's not worth it for small numbers because it's very expensive to spit them out. They're not going to be happy with me when I say I'm not having 1,000 made. I'm having 250 of 2 colours. It's a lot of work, and they're going to charge me more. So I'm probably going to, once I'll make a few, satisfy all the backers, and then I might not. Now, unless it suddenly turns around and everyone starts wanting the 17-inch. But whilst it's not the end of the world because I promised to make the tooling, right? That's fine. But I'm a bit disappointed that people change their mind afterwards. Not like, it's fine, I get it. But with hindsight, yeah, I should have just done the 19s. But there you go. When it becomes drunk, how many won the next Kickstarter? How many batches are you currently planning? I'm interested, but not yet decided. How many batches? I will make them until they stop selling. Having said that, I haven't started marketing yet. I only did the marketing for the Kickstarter. So I haven't actually started doing any marketing yet. And we'll see what happens with that. Right, if there's no questions, because I've told you everything, and to be honest, I want to go watch the rest of Strictly Finals. Not Finals, the last night's, the results, that's it. So unless you've got a question, I'm going. Alright, let's wait. I'll give you a few seconds. Type your messages. I might just have a swig of this while I'm waiting. Looks like no one's actually typing any messages. Are you thinking about bundling cases, borders? Maybe later, not yet. What I want to do is a keyboard. I want to make a really nice mechanical keyboard for Amigas. And a mouse. But I've got to get this done first. Get this done, and then we'll roll into the other bits. I have a roadmap. But the monitor is going to fund it. The monitor's funding everything. That's why we're getting this working so hard to get this absolutely right. I mean, pretty much. This is almost a cableless system. I'm not saying it's not cables because you got speakers and you got other bits, but you get that. You stiffen it and you plug it in. There you go. It's all good. So that's down to Appy. it's really tidied it up. And of course, when the people in China, one of the things was the people in China were lovely. They worked really, really hard, and I think we've made a really good product here. So keyboards, don't get excited in the weeds, but there were people out there making keyboards, but they make like what 50, and then they're just obviously very expensive. I want to make 1,000, get the price down. But I want to make nice keyboards. But I know I can. I've already got priced up, and if I can get the design, I could probably make them, sell them for around £100. Mechanical keyboards, Amiga ones, possibly that could go into an existing Amiga, and hope maybe use PS2. Yeah. So, but I needed. I can't. We're not designing the damn thing, but I know there's 3 people out there. You know, so I'm trying to put out feelers. Say, well, look, can you license the design? Let's do some kind of deal. Then I can not mass produce them, but make a load of them, so people can actually afford the things. Which, don't get me wrong. I mean, I know these things are expensive to make, but they're not that expensive to make, actually. Seriously, not that expensive. You just have to go to the right place. Real Amiga compatible. Depends what you mean by Real Amiga. There are no chips, so we're talking FPGA, but it will be just like the real thing. Real Amiga compatible, yes. 68K. Are the keyboards just Amiga or general retro? That's a good question. I'm an Amiga fan. What do you think I'm going to make? They're going to be Amiga keyboards design. And if other people go, oh, can you make it? No. Here you go, here's the keyboard. You'll understand why with the roadmap later. External keyboards, like molds would be great. Yeah, that's the plan, is to design the molds, make new molds. Again, it would be a Kickstarter. There was I'll tell you a little story. When I went to Fassy's, I don't know if Fassy's here, but went to Amiga 38, and there was a whole load of us. There was like Dave Haney, RJ Michael, David Pleasance, and somewhere. Loads of us sitting there, we were all drinking. Anyway, I was just talking, and then David Pleasance piped up. I thought it was really funny. He did get a good laugh out of it. Maybe you could do another Kickstarter from a man who did 2 Kickstarters. But yeah, so obviously, if I'm going to make that and get the price down, it will be a Kickstarter, because I'm not just doing this off my own back. But these Kickstarters do work because it allows me to make sure I've got numbers. So yes, if I do it, it will be a Kickstarter. I have one of the Kipper ones for the 8500 external conversion. Yeah, I need to speak to Kipper, see, because it's just, I don't want to buy the keyboards. I want to license the design, because I can get them made cheap. Good quality, really good quality. Cherry switches, much cheaper. I've already got it lined up. The problem is the existing designs, which I was going to get them to modify, don't do PS2, annoyingly. Now that I might solve that problem, but the prices I'm being quoted to make them means I could sell them for around £100, which is a lot cheaper. That's the idea later. Now, I'm not promising you can take them out and put them into an Amiga, but it would be nice, because a lot of them have fallen to bits. But we'll see. Right. Look at that. Are we thinking linear, clicky, tactile? I like reds. Yeah, I like reds. So basically, it's what I like. Reds. I can't stand blues. They go clackety, clackety, clackety. Don't like them. Browns aren't too bad, because they give you a bit of tactile feedback. But if you want different ones, swap them out. Because we'll be making. If I do it, I'll be making them. I won't be a poll. It'll just be my choice. Now, it'll be Yeah, hear that? Hear that? Cherries. They're gonna be like that. Yeah, see, 2000 keyboard. That's one of the early cherry high quality ones. So that's the kind of thing I want to make with nice plastics, nice curly cable. That'd be absolutely fantastic. We'll have an all-in-one Amiga with a nice keyboard and proper product. Hopefully, fingers crossed. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go. So there's not much more. So I might do another one next week. You know, more questions. Like come back about layouts. I'll probably, if anything, it'll be. I'll do what I did last time. US ones, US layout. But this time with the big enter key, ISO in other words. But probably have the US one, and then have extra keys with some of the ones you want to swap out. But anyway, I'm not about keyboards now. That's down the road. All right, guys. Well, look, that's it. I'm gonna go and sit down and have a rest, and then have an early night, and see if I can catch up some sleep. But yeah, it's all good. It's just delayed. Okay. All right. Where's that end button? There it is. Look. And here we go. Goodbye.